على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. The hadith for today has been brought forward by Imam Tirmizi, and the narrator is Abu Hurairah radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu. عن أبي هريرة قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أكمل المؤمنين إيمانا أحسنهم خلقا وخياركم لنسائهم. The Holy Prophet said, the mu'mineen having complete iman are those whose morals are beautiful, and the best amongst you are those who are good to their wives. Yesterday we heard the hadith regarding the moral duties of the women, that if they fast in the month of Ramadan, they offer salah 5 times a day, they safeguard their honor, and they are obedient to their husbands, they can enter through any door of the Jannah. Today we'll be discussing the hadith in which the duties and morals of husband are made clear. Morals are, as you know, being truthful, being trustworthy, keeping up the promises, being kind, being helpful, being brother, generating brotherhood, so on and so forth. Similarly, being good to the family and the children, giving them good advices, that they should show patience, they should be thanksgiving, and they should show modesty, haya. So if we are good to our partners, then there will be a strong family system in the society, and good relations between husband and wife, and caring for each other, looking for his own duties, and caring for the rights of others. So that creates a congenial atmosphere in the society. The Holy Quran says, وَعَاشِرُوهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Live with them in a good and pleasant manner. The woman, I like your cultivating land. As from the cultivating land one gets the crop, you get your progeny out of them. And every farmer loves his land. So be good to them. And the Prophet says, be kind and polite to them, and don't be strict and harsh to them. Deal with them gently. Yes, if they are disobedient, they make mistake, so advise them, admonish them. And if she is still disobedient, then separate her from the bed. If still disobedient, then you can hit her lightly, and the Prophet says, not on the face, or don't hit her like so hard that it breaks any one of the bones. So that is the manner that Quran tells us, وَعَاشِرُهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. But if they become obedient and they change their attitude, then don't find excuses to blame them, to insult them. So be good to them then. And Quran says, وَالصُّلْحُ خَيْرٌ. It's better to have sulah, musalihat, compromising attitude. That is, you should show patience and forbearance in an honorable manner. If you find deficit in them, any of the deficits, supposing she is not beautiful, or she lacks manners and etiquettes, or she is not skillful, look to the other things which are good in them, in her. As Quran says, فَإِن كَرِهْتُمُوهُنَّ وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُوا شَيْئًا وَيَجْعَلَ اللَّهُ فِيهِ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. If you dislike any of them, it is possible that you may dislike something from them, whereas Allah has kept in her for you many benefits. So concentrate on her good qualities. She may be virtuous and she may have strong iman, she may have good manners, she may be skillful, she is not extravagant, she does not throw your money here and there, she is very economical, she has the art of decoration, she is good to your children, and she teaches the children in a nice manner. So these are the good things that you can see in them. Similarly, be forgiving. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has his shortcomings. Everyone can be annoyed. So be forgiving and try to ignore their shortfalls and mistakes. Because women generally are more passionate. They are sentimental, more than the males. Allah has made them like that. These sentiments are good because it's good for the child. A child cries, a woman is more sentimental, she runs for it. Man doesn't have those sentiments. A female has, it's good for her because she has to take care of the child. But because of these sentiments and passions, she is easily annoyed. She is easily angered. You will see a small incident and tears will start rolling down her cheeks. And she'll be upset. She'll be annoyed. She may raise her voice. She may be angry. So be forgiving and forbearing and compassionate. And if you have to correct her pleasantly and warmly. Quran says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, inna min azwajikum wa awladikum aduwwan lakum fahzaruhu, wa in ta'fu wa tasfahu wa taghfiru, fa inna Allaha ghafurur rahim. O believers, amongst your wives and children are your enemies. So be careful of them. Enemies in the sense that they may enemy of your iman. They may have such demands that in fulfilling their demands, you may lose your iman. So in that sense, Allah Ta'ala is saying, among them are your enemies, so be careful. But, وَإِن تَعْفُوا وَتَصْفَحُوا وَتَغْفِرُوا, if you excuse them, you forgive them, ignore them, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Surely Allah Ta'ala is also forgiving in nature and He is very merciful. And the Holy Prophet says that the woman has been made from the upper crooked part of the rib. If you apply pressure to straighten it, you may break her. So deal with her gently, pleasantly, warmly, in a pleasant manner, and forgiving her mistakes. So that is the attitude of a man that he should have with his wife, and because Allah has made him very honorable, so he should act honorably, with dignity. Even the Holy Prophet was very nice to his wives. There is an incident that Hazrat Safiya, she was also riding the camel along with the caravan, but the camel was very slow. It was left behind. And it also happened that the camel stopped and just wouldn't go ahead. And it sat down. Now that incident, small as I said, they are sentimental, they are passionate. So Hazrat Bibi Safiya was disturbed by this. And she started crying. And tears rolled down her face. The Holy Prophet, when saw that the camel is left behind, he turned his camel, went back, and saw that she is crying. He took out his chadar and wiped the tears of her on the face. So that was a gentle attitude. Don't cry, it's all right, I'm there. So he gave comfort to her. That is the attitude one must have. And one must respect her as well. It is not that if you respect her, your respect will go down. No, not at all. If you respect her, she will also respect you. She will love you. She will obey you. And Allah Ta'ala has told her that she should be obedient. So if you are driving a car, you're getting into a car, you can open the door for her. That will give a pleasant surprise for her. If you have to cut a fruit, cut it and first present it to her. So these are small things that create a softness, a kindness in her heart, and she'll respect you and she'll be obedient to you. Then give her reasonable expenditure for her food, clothing and grocery, etc., etc. And you give it gladly, you will have a pleasant marital life. And as the Holy Prophet said, that if you give 1 dinar to free a slave, the other dinar you give to a beggar, the other dinar you give in the pathway of Allah, and the 4th dinar to your family, the most rewarding of these dinars is one you give to your family. So, taking these things into account, one must give her, yes, advise her not to be extravagant and give her good advices. But be good to her, gentle to her, respect her and honor. Then teach her her deen and morals. Because if she is a good Muslim, she is a good woman, she is a good housewife, good mother, and she is a good slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The mu'mineen, they are abd. The females, they are amatun. Abd is slave and the female slave is amatun. As we are slaves, so they also must be obedient to their Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah ta'ala says in the Quran, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. O believers, save yourself and your family from the hellfire. And in the Quran also Allah Ta'ala says, وَأْمُرْ أَهْلَكَ بِالصَّلَاةِ وَاسْتَبِرْ عَلَيْهَا. That emphasize and strictly and urge them to establish salah and be also steadfast on it. So if one has more than one wives, then he should try to treat them equally. In the goods of the world, they should be given to all the wives equally. Yes, he doesn't have any control on his heart may be shifting to one side, but as long as the nights are concerned or the goods are concerned, in that manner he must treat them equally. The Holy Prophet says that if a person has 2 wives and he doesn't treat them equally, on the day of Qiyamah, he will come with half of his body dead and he will be dragging his half part of the body. As a person has a stroke and half of it's called hemiplegia, half of his body dies. So he will be dragging his half part because he was not fair enough to the other woman. So a woman is a favor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to a person. It's a ni'mat. And as Holy Prophet says that Allah's best present for you after taqwa is a virtuous wife who obeys you, who is obedient to you, who if you have a look, give a glance to her, she makes you happy, she takes care of the household things, and in your absence she safeguards her honor and your property and looks after the children. And if you make any promise, she also helps you in fulfilling that promise. So she's like an abagina, she's like a stone which fits in the ring, and any good stone which fits in the ring, it looks beautiful. So a present from Allah Ta'ala is a virtuous woman. So these are the things that the husband must take into account. Be nice, forbearing, patience, consulting her, advising her, forgiving nature. So that is the attitude a man should have. May Allah Ta'ala guide us to the right path and give us these qualities so that we may lead a peaceful life. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. Dinar, free the slave, a beggar, path fear of Allah and to the family. That is more rewarding.